If you're listening to this right now, it's because something inside you already knows the truth. A truth most people are too afraid to face. And that truth is this: the strongest man in the room is rarely the loudest. The most desired man is not the one who chases, and the deepest relationships are not built on constant talking, constant touching, or constant reassurance, but on presence, restraint, and quiet control. From the very first moment you stop begging for attention, something shifts. The air around you changes. People feel it before they understand it. And the person you're thinking about right now feels it too. Even if they never say a word, silence is not emptiness. Silence is weight. In a world addicted to noise, messages, explanations, and emotional exposure, silence becomes power. Stoic philosophy understood this long before modern relationships became chaotic. When you speak less, your words land deeper. When you react less, your presence becomes heavier. And when you stop trying to convince someone of your value, they begin to sense it on their own. This is not manipulation. This is alignment. This is self-respect expressed without a single sentence. In relationships, especially between men and women, attraction is rarely logical. It's energetic. It's felt in pauses, in restraint, in the tension between what is shown and what is withheld. Most men lose power the moment they overshare. They talk when they should pause. They explain when they should observe. They chase when they should stand still. Stoicism teaches something uncomfortable but essential. You do not control outcomes, you control yourself, and self-control is seductive. Not in a loud, obvious way, but in a slow, burning way that stays in the mind long after the conversation ends. A calm man who knows his direction, who does not rush emotional reactions, who does not collapse under desire, becomes unforgettable. Desire grows in space, not in pressure. Intimacy deepens when it is earned, not demanded. Think about the moments that linger in memory. It's rarely the constant contact, it's the pauses, the looks that lasted a second longer, the words not said, the touch that stopped just before it crossed the line. That tension is not accidental. It's psychological. When you are grounded in yourself, when you don't need to prove masculinity or worth, your silence becomes a language. It says, I am complete. I am not afraid of losing you. And paradoxically, that is when connection intensifies. This is where Stoic relationships differ from needy ones. One drains, the other draws in. Modern culture teaches men to express everything, explain everything, expose everything. Stoicism teaches timing. Not repression, but discipline. There is a difference. Emotional discipline is not coldness. It is warmth under control. It is passion guided by principle. In intimacy, this matters more than technique, more than words, more than promises. A man who can sit in desire without being consumed by it commands respect. A man who can feel attraction without acting impulsively creates anticipation, and anticipation is one of the most powerful forces in human connection. There is a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are enough, even if someone walks away. This is not indifference. It is inner stability. When you stop clinging, people feel safe leaning in. When you stop flooding conversations with reassurance, seeking attraction breathes. Stoicism is not about avoiding love or intimacy. It is about approaching it from strength rather than hunger. Hunger repels. Strength invites. Silence, when rooted in self-mastery, amplifies that strength. In relationships, men often fear silence because they think it means loss. They think if they don't text, don't call, don't explain, they will be forgotten. But the opposite often happens. When your life is full, when your purpose is clear, when your energy is grounded, silence becomes intriguing. It suggests depth. It suggests options. It suggests a man who is not waiting by the phone, but moving forward regardless. This does not mean playing games. It means living fully. People are drawn to those who are already in motion. Stoic philosophy reminds us that desire is strongest when it is not rushed. Intimacy is not built by force. It is built by trust, presence, and emotional safety. A man who is calm in his body, steady in his decisions, and restrained in his reactions creates an environment where intimacy can deepen naturally. Touch becomes meaningful because it is not constant. Words become impactful because they are not wasted. When physical closeness finally happens, it carries weight. It feels intentional, grounded, and real. There is a subtle eroticism in self-control that modern culture rarely talks about. It's not graphic, it's psychological. It's in the way you don't need to chase validation. It's in the way you maintain eye contact without rushing to fill the space. It's in the way your touch is deliberate, not needy. Stoicism aligns perfectly with this form of attraction because it teaches mastery over impulse. When impulse is mastered, desire sharpens. When desire sharpens, connection intensifies. Most relationship conflict comes from fear. Fear of abandonment. Fear of not being enough. Fear of losing control. Stoicism cuts through this fear by reminding you that you cannot own another person's feelings, choices, or loyalty. You can only own your character. When you accept this fully, you stop trying to control outcomes and start embodying stability. That stability is rare, and rarity creates value. In romantic dynamics, value is not declared. It is perceived. Silence after conflict is especially powerful when it is not passive-aggressive but reflective. Instead of arguing to win, a Stoic man steps back to understand. He allows emotions to settle. He responds, not reacts. This does not mean tolerating disrespect. It means addressing issues from calm authority rather than emotional chaos. Calm authority is magnetic. It signals maturity. It signals safety. It signals leadership. These qualities matter deeply in long-term attraction. The modern dating world is chaotic because everyone is reacting to everyone else's emotions. Stoicism offers an anchor. When you are anchored, you don't drift with every wave of attention or rejection. You don't rise with praise or collapse with silence. You remain steady, and that steadiness becomes the foundation of trust. Trust deepens intimacy far more than constant communication ever could. There is also a deeply personal side to this philosophy. When you master silence, you begin to hear yourself more clearly. You stop outsourcing your worth to someone else's response. You stop measuring your value by how desired you feel in the moment. This inner quiet creates confidence that cannot be faked. And when intimacy grows from this place, it feels grounded rather than desperate. It feels mutual rather than one-sided. Stoicism does not deny sexual energy. It refines it. Sexual energy, when uncontrolled, becomes impulsive and draining. When refined, it becomes presence, charisma, and calm intensity. This intensity is felt, not announced. It shows in posture, in pacing, in the way you listen without interrupting, in the way you touch without rushing. This is where Stoic masculinity meets desire, not in performance but in being. In relationships, many men try to secure connection by giving more words, more attention, more reassurance. But connection is not secured by excess. It is secured by balance. Stoicism teaches balance through moderation. When you give without losing yourself, intimacy thrives. When you withdraw without resentment, respect grows. Silence becomes a tool not of distance, but of depth. There will be moments when silence feels uncomfortable. That discomfort is where growth happens. When you resist the urge to explain yourself, to justify your worth, to chase validation, you reclaim your center. From that center, every interaction changes. Conversations slow down. Eye contact deepens. Tension becomes palpable. And intimacy becomes something that unfolds naturally rather than something you push for. The strongest relationships are not loud. They are calm. They are built on mutual respect, not constant reassurance. They allow space without fear. They allow desire to breathe. Stoic philosophy does not promise easy relationships. It promises real ones. Relationships where attraction is sustained by character, not maintained by performance. When you embody this mindset, you stop fearing loss. And when you stop fearing loss, you become more present. Presence is the rarest currency today. People feel seen by presence. They feel desired by restraint. They feel safe with calm strength. This is why silence, when used with intention, becomes one of the most powerful forces in attraction and intimacy. In the end, Stoicism is not about withdrawing from love. It is about entering love without losing yourself. It is about choosing depth over noise, restraint over impulse, and presence over performance. When you live this way, relationships transform, desire deepens, respect stabilizes, and intimacy becomes something that grows quietly, powerfully, and unmistakably real.